Hello, and a warm welcome to Living the Dream French Riviera podcast, where we explore women's professional journeys while relocating to the south of France. I'm your host, Cecile. Today I'm joined by Roberta, who left Brazil to pursue a new life in Europe. After years working in the yachting world, she made the bold move to create her own business from scratch. In our conversation, we talk about navigating visas and mobility as non-EU national, what it really takes to sustain your life while building a company here, and the daily realities of Riviera life that are often left out of the glossy image. So Roberta, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really looking forward to hearing your story from Brazil to life on board yachts and eventually building your own business here on the Riviera. To begin, when did you first arrive in the south of France? Where were you coming from and what was life like at the time?
All right. Thank you. Thanks to you for, putting me in this project. That's very nice. I arrived in France first in 2006 around, I think, because I was working in yachting. So the yacht was always around here. But then, of course, I travel a lot around, and then I came back in 2015, and we spent like 1 year close to Toulon because I was working again on the boat. That the boat was just locked in the shipyards doing like a big refit. I was living like just a normal life as a normal person inland. I had the opportunity to explore a lot France. And then I came back in 2017, and then it was in 2017 that I actually stayed here, like that I had a house, that I decided to live in France.
Did you speak any French at the time?
No. I studied in a French school in Brazil, but I never really pay attention in that, in that moment of my life. I wasn't even thinking about, languages. So no, I didn't speak any French.
Before living here, I didn't even know that yachting existed, and it's a huge thing. How did you get into yachting in the first place? How did you hear about it?
Yeah, for me it was the same, but I moved from Brazil to Barcelona in 2004. So this is when I left Brazil, actually, in 2004. So I moved to Barcelona, and I tried to find a job in the production because I worked with production in Brazil before. But it was very difficult to find, and then I needed to, pay my bills in Barcelona. So then I found a job in a bar. The bar was just in front of the main port in Barcelona, main marina and port. All the yachting people used to come after work to have a drink. So then I met all these people that they introduced me to the yachting industry, and they incentivized me to go for it, they always said, hey, Roberta, you came from Brazil, you want to travel, you want to see, experience different things, cultures and all this. Jump in a boat and get the job and go. And this was my beginning in the yachting industry in 2005.
And when you decided to settle in France, why France, and how did you decide it was time to get off?
I decided it was time to get off the boat because I start everything already late. When I moved from Brazil to Barcelona, I was already 30 years old, more or less. So when I started the boat, so I wasn't, like a yachting people starts when they are 18, something like that. So then I was already over 40 years old, and then I was like, oh my God, I need to do something, I had this thing that came naturally, that I was looking for a place to settle, have my house, my dogs, because I was exploring a lot France when I was in the shipyard close to Toulon. And then I had this boat based in Cap d'Aille. So every weekend I got my car and just go and around to explore. And I really loved France, I fall in love with France because the nature here is amazing, beautiful. I love this. And France is quiet, it's clean. And this is something that I really appreciated. I come from São Paulo. I lived in Rio de Janeiro for many years also. So they're all crowded and big cities, and I really appreciate the quiet, the nature, to be like surrounded by nature, because Rio de Janeiro, everybody says, oh, it's beautiful, the nature is amazing, but it's a big city, a bit heavy. So this is what made me feel like, oh, this is where I want to be. And I stayed because it was time to move, move on, and then step out from the boats and start a new life inland.
So you step off the boat, you start your life inland in France. Do you know straight away what you want to do to pay the bills?
No, not at all. Well, I love the yachting industry. I always thought, well, if I'm staying here, this is what I'm going to do. But I took like 1 year just to relax, to think about my life, and to have time just for myself, because was like 15 years working non-stop. I wanted to have like 1 year to think about my life, to see what I was going to do. After this year, I started to look for a job, but then I was living in the VAR. All the yachting companies was in Antibes, because I was mostly looking in Antibes. And then when I learned about salaries, salary was so low, and living in the VAR, so there was a lot of, like hours in the road to get to Antibes, and then fuel, the tolls and food that you needed. In the end, like the money that I was going to receive, like net, was just so low. And then I was a little bit frustrated about that. And also this wasn't the life that I want to have. I wanted to have like a quiet and pleasant life, not live super far away from my work and just spend hours in the traffic, getting a highway and all this. So then I started to look for a job like locally where I was living, but it was very hard to find a job. It was really hard, like my French was very bad. It wasn't in the yachting industry, it was more like to work in the hotels and things like that, but like it was in the countryside, so hotel was like more, people that were working was like mostly family, and was very difficult to get in, like, and get actually hired. It was there that I decided that I needed to have something for myself, because I said, well, if I need to go to Antibes every day, the amount of money that I'm going to make per month, I am capable, I think, to make the same money working for myself. So then I decided to open the company, and then I did not even knew exactly if I was going to offer service, products, or what. This guy that met me like a few years earlier, and we did a little work together in the yachting industry. He asked me if I was able to and available and interested to set up a new build boat, like a brand new boat. And I said yes, of course. And I just had set up my company. And then I said, well, it's going to be my first work with my own company. So then we did like this 3 months, I think 3 months work in this boat. So it was like a full setup. And then I launched my company like that. And then after that, I said, well, now I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to supply to the boats, like help them just to get the boat set up, or not even just set up, like for improvements, replacement. They need new plates, the new glasses. And then I decided just to follow this path.
I guess after 15 years on yachts, you knew exactly what was needed. But did you know how to supply things?
It was a little bit of challenge, because I knew the brands, because I used to do that on the boats, like I was in the other side. So I was the chief stewardess buying from a company like mine. So I knew the brands, I knew exactly what I want, what I needed, but was very challenging to open the trade accounts with all these companies, because in the beginning I was even, a little bit scared just to go introduce myself and say, hey, now I have my company. I had like actually in the beginning a few companies that they just said, I'm so sorry, Roberta, we are not open to, to open new trade accounts. That I knew that, because they are very good brands and they don't want to work with like small companies like mine. So I was a little bit frustrated, but I had like a lot of brands just really supporting me, and then step by step I built like, nowadays I have like many brands that I work with. So I can supply actually an amount of products different, like same product but like in different colors or textures or.
So that was the side of establishing your business and making it grow. Now let's see about French administration. You said your French was not that good at the beginning. I don't know how it is now. How do you get to establish a company in France? Did you know where to start with? How did you do this?
To be very honest, I don't even remember, but it wasn't that difficult. All my documents, the visa that I have to be legal in France and everything, I did through the prefecture in Draguignan, because I was living in the Var before, and I think it wasn't too crowded, but they were very organized and always made things, go smoothly, like things were quite fast. I see many friends that they have to do things through Nice, that they have like a very hard time. But for me it was very easy. And then I remember going online and setting my company myself online. Everything was just easy.
Were there any moment when you felt uncertain about the future of the business?
The future of the business is an everyday challenge. I had times that I said, well, I'm going just to, give up and find a job and just get a salary, like every month. And don't struggle with the off-season times because it's very difficult. Every time that I have this sort of thought, I had a new client calling because they needed something else. So then, I had something that pushed me, but then I just keep going, Roberta, because you're in the right path, in the right way. So then I had people just, saying thanks to me because the job that I did, because that I helped them to set up a boat, or I supply what I said that's going to be good, and that they believe in me, and that in the end they said, yes, Robert, thank God that I heard what you had to say, so then this thing just makes me, keep moving, and believing that this is going to be it's my company, that's something that I believe, and then I should keep going.
How do you get new clients? How do they hear about you?
So the stewardesses, they talk a lot with each other. They have actually, WhatsApp groups that, most of the stewardesses are on it. So they exchange a lot of information. So sometimes, there are boats in the United States, when they come to south of France, they ask, well, where I can find this and that, and then people just talk. And then, of course, I do a little advertisement. So I have my company in some of the yachting pages and things like that. I have friends, when I was a stewardess, they are still work on the boats as a chief stewardess, so they buy from me. So then, somebody that used to work on the boat with her leaves and get a job in another boat, and as a chief stewardess. So then, from one boat I have another boat, because the second stewardess in that boat now is a chief in another boat, so she keeps buying with me. It's like that. I don't have time to be in the social medias a lot and do all the work that the big companies they are doing, but it's good, it's going.
And what are the unique challenges of running a business in the Riviera yachting supply sector?
This is a good question. What happened is I'm just a former stewardess. I am someone that I don't have a lot of money in my background to invest in my company, to have a beautiful showroom around in Antibes, in Monaco. It's very difficult to compete with these other companies. So the challenge is to make people understand that it's not just because I don't have a showroom or these big names, I cannot do the job. So we sell the same products. So it's difficult to be there, to make a presence when you are just competing, with such big names, they have beautiful showrooms around. So this is, I think, it's the biggest challenge. to make yourself to be there, to, hey, I'm here, I exist, I also sell the same thing, and don't have like a lot of money to invest in advertisement and in a showroom and a proper space, like where the chief stewardess can come and see the products, and be in the main areas of the yachting industry in Monaco and Antibes.
Being just yourself may be a challenge for you to be seen, but maybe it's an advantage because once you get a client, you're fully dedicated to them and it's only one person, which is you.
Yeah, well, this is actually, yeah, you're super right, because, and this is what I want for my company. I want to give to my clients like a full VIP service, like I hear exactly what they need. And I try, like I spend a lot of time making presentations, showing that what I can offer, based in what they pass to me, like in the like budget, color, and this kind of thing. So yes, I do give them a full attention. That it's right. Maybe in another place they won't have this very focused attention on them and what they need. Yes, this is right.
Does it help that you speak several languages or you only use English?
I mostly use English, but of course it helps sometimes when I need to go. I have like client in Spain. They probably, the chief stewardess are Spanish, and then when they figure out that I speak Spanish, they ask, that's great, we can speak Spanish. And also because I have suppliers everywhere. So I have suppliers in Spain, in Portugal, and in other countries that I speak the language. So the communication with them is better when it's in their own language. So they prefer, they always write emails in their own language and all this.
Yachting is quite seasonal. How do you manage this?
So what's in the really beginning, it was very difficult because I was working just from, maybe January, February to June, and then the rest of the year I was completely with zero income. So it was very difficult, but step by step, thank God, for some reason, I don't know, that something changed since last year, 2023, that I had like clients all year round. So when I finish, and of course, I work just before summer, then during the summer it's very quiet, but then the problem was always after the summer, because after the summer I should be working again, preparing the boats that are going to the Caribbean, but then it was like years that I had nothing. But then since 2023, for some reason, now I have like clients that they always look for, to new things or supplying in after the season, so to prepare the boat to go to the Caribbean. So it's been quite okay. And also I have an event and concierge company, which I organize private events or conciergerie. Like for example, I had like a few clients coming to Saint-Tropez just now, like a few clients. It was two different groups, and that they need like to charter a boat, they need a transfer, they need booking restaurants and all this. And it's great because then the yachting is very low during the summer. So then I have this to do during the summers, which helps also.
How do you get these new clients?
The first group, it was because a lady in Antibes asked someone to organize a party for her. It was her birthday, and was 50 years old. I think she wants to make like a nice party, have like a catering, a couple of things, a waiter and all this. And then I offered the service to her. And then she was the one that recommended me to this other lady who has a company just like mine, this event and concierge company in Brazil. And the clients, they are all from Brazil. So then this lady talked to her and said, you could go and talk to her, Roberta. Roberta can help you there, blah, blah, blah. So then I organized everything they needed here. But it's something that I always say, and then I have a friend, well, you're probably going to agree with me. Once you work like as a TV producer or in the cinema or whatever, we can do anything after that, because a producer, you need to deal with things very fast, and you need to know what to do in any sort of situation in a timing that nobody can do it, so when you are a producer, whatever you ask me, I'm able to do it. So then this concierge and event company was born because during my yachting career, I met so many great chefs, and I was involved with all these amazing service and VIP restaurants and everything that people needed when we're talking about boat owners, no? So then I did like all this networking was already in my notebook, like all these people. So for me it was easy when people ask me, hey Roberta, I need like a dinner for 20 people, but we want some Japanese. So I know who is the Japanese chef who is very good, or a Brazilian meal, or Italian, so I know all these people. So it was easy to build that. So also, again, responding your question, people just talk. They, they find me because one say, she did something for me in the past, and I had a client that posted on Facebook, Roberta organized my birthday party, was very nice, and blah blah blah. And also because I keep looking the social medias, people ask, and then I just present my service, everything what I can what I can offer.
Relocation and entrepreneurship change us in a way we can't always predict. Let's take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. Looking back, what would you do differently, if anything? And is there anything you'd wish you'd known before?
All right, I was thinking about that. I think the only thing that I sometimes comes to my mind that I should have stayed in Barcelona. I am established here professionally, but I don't have many friends. I found it very difficult to find friends in France, to create your social life. And in Barcelona was completely the opposite. I had like amazing friends. I used to have like, my life was full of joy with people that I can sit down, have dinner, talk and laugh and cry and everything. And I am from Brazil, so social, it's very important for me to have friends, to go out, to come, to invite people to come to my place, to go to others' place, to be part, to bond. And here in France I found this very difficult. So when I'm looking back, I think that I should have stayed in Spain.
Do you think it's too late now, or have you seriously considered relocating to Spain?
I am a very free spirit. I love moving around. So even in Brazil, like I grew up in São Paulo, but I went to Rio de Janeiro, and I lived in Rio de Janeiro for 10 years, I think, and then I spent a little while in the south of Brazil also. And then I moved to Barcelona, and then I travel a lot with the boat, and then I was here and there. I love this. What the difference today is just I'm not a young lady anymore. I have my dogs, and also because I used to live in Spain legally. I used to have my carte de séjour in Spain, but when I left, I lost that. So now I am legal in France, but I am not a European citizen. I am Brazilian citizen. So I cannot really go anywhere. I don't have visa.
So you can't, even though it's EU, you can't transfer your rights to work from one EU country to the next EU country?
No.
It's not that easy. So we're not there yet with EU, are we? Yeah.
This is very hard. Because we get stuck, like I am in France and I need to stay in France.
That's something. Was there a defining moment when you thought, yes, I've made it?
I think I can say that every day I made it, because I see so many people struggling. It's not that everything is easy, but You know, I come from Brazil, arrive in a country that I don't even speak the language and anything, and then from zero, I built my company and I live well. I pay my bills. I have my clients, and things are just growing, you know, like, so I can't say that every day. I think like I made it, you know, I think I made it, but of course, in the other hand, I think there's so much that I still need to do it. I'm proud of what I built.
I think you can be. I think it's quite impressive. How do you think your life might have unfolded if you hadn't made the move?
It's very, for me, I think it's very difficult to talk about the if. It doesn't exist, you know, we never know. Brazil is something funny because since I was like very young, maybe even 14, 13 years old, I always wanted to go and live abroad. I don't know why. I don't know where this comes from, especially because I come from a family that my parents, especially, they never wanted to travel. They like where they live. They are there. I am the black sheep, you know, that they wanted always to go around and everything. So I knew that Brazil is not my place, and actually I felt very insecure there. I had like a bad experiences in Brazil. I was kidnapped once, and so I don't know, like Brazil is something that I don't even think about that, I think, you know, it's my country. I love the people, I love the food, I love the nature. The beaches in Brazil are just amazing. I miss that actually, you know, to go to the amazing beaches. I miss my friends in Brazil, family, of course, but I don't miss the country. And it's been like 21 years already. So I prefer to talk about Barcelona. I think like if I was in Barcelona, I think I would be happier than I am here because of my social life.
Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your take on Riviera life. So we've understood that it's not easy to make friends here, to make real friends. It's easy to make connections, but deep friendships are difficult. But we also see the Riviera as a very glossy and glamorous place. Is living here actually as glamorous as it seems?
Well, not for me. I don't think there's anything glamorous about it, you know. Well, of course, it's nice, but to be very honest, I think some other areas is even, you know, like many of other areas are more glamorous than here for me. That's my type of person, you know, the things that I like. I don't like these crowded beaches. I don't like this crowded here. I think like, for example, Antibes, that I know Antibes since so many years, that I used to come all the time with the boat. Antibes was super nice before. It was like you walk in the street, you just see beautiful people everywhere. Wasn't that busy. That was glamorous for me, you know. You go to restaurants and people are nice. You don't need to wait. Nowadays it's just like chaos everywhere, you know. So this is not glamorous for me. During summertime I hate it.
That's why you live inland, not on the coast.
I don't even go to the beach. I can't stand that. Takes like 2 hours to park your car, and then you go to the beach, too many people.
What's the most iconic place in the region, in your opinion?
Saint-Tropez. After Monaco, but Saint-Tropez is something like everybody wants to come to Saint-Tropez. So I think Saint-Tropez is the place that everybody knows. It's funny because sometimes I say, oh, you know, like I live close to Antibes, and then, Antibes, where is Antibes? And for me, Antibes is very Antibes. But you want to talk about Saint-Tropez, everybody knows everything about Saint-Tropez.
Do you have a favorite spot or hidden gem you'd like to share with us?
I love the countryside. The places I love the most is Tourette-sur-Loup. I love Gordon. I love a little bit further Les Brusques, Verdun area, Hossegor, and for me my sacred place is the Plateau de Calerne, just above Gordon. This is where I go to meet the gods when I need to talk with them. It's my temple.
How do you see the Riviera evolving?
Well, if you're talking about business, there's a lot of things going on. As I said, like it's just it's busier. Every year is like it's get more and more busy. So professionally speaking, there's a lot of opportunities. In other aspects, I think it's hard for me to say because it's funny because I don't want to sound critical on this, but I come from Brazil and I travel a lot. I'm very used to modern things, like we always want to learn more and just do things different and just keep going with things, just growing and evolving and all this. And sometimes I think around here everything just got stuck in time. So for example, there are many tourists from everywhere, and people has like something that for me is very bad that I hear like around, like the people also suffer about that. We like to eat whatever time, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever we wish to eat, like whatever we're hungry. And here in France, you need to eat from midday to 1:30. Otherwise, you cannot eat until 7 maybe. And this is so hard for me to understand. And the friends that I have, they are also from different countries. For them, it's also something that they struggle with. And so, and it's still, if you go to Antibes, that's, for me, it's like quite, it's not a big city, but it's quite popular and all this. Even in Antibes, it's hard to find a place to eat after the French lunchtime. So I think, but this is normal, no? Like every country has different habits and ways, but the French people are super, like they stick with what they are used to. They don't change because of the people, So I think, like there's a lot of things going on, but the French people, which is, I think it's also amazing, they stick with what they want, what they believe in, the ways they think it works.
Roberta, thank you for sharing your journey with us. It's been inspiring to hear how you transformed your experience at sea into business on land and how you've carved your place in the Riviera community. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you and thanks to you.
Thank you. Starting over is never easy, especially on the Riviera where life is both dazzling and demanding. Roberta's honesty has been a gift, and I'm thankful she shared her path with us. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, share and subscribe so more listeners can discover these inspiring stories. You can find more about Roberta and other inspiring women building meaningful lives on the Riviera on our website, livingthedreampodcast.com. And if you'd like to support my work, you'll also find a link there to help me keep creating new episodes of Living the Dream. A heartfelt thank you to Claire Long, whose music adds warmth and emotion to every episode. I'm Cecile and this has been Living the Dream, French Riviera podcast. À bientôt!